So the people who say no handouts just lined up for a handout. Now tell me why farmers in Arkansas are standing outside with their hands out again, begging Uncle Sam for money. See, when it's regular people struggling, rent too high, groceries too ridiculous, can't afford health care, the answer is always from these people: stop complaining, stop asking for handouts, and pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Farmers in Arkansas are crying out to the feds for stimulus money like it's open mic night. And look, I get it, because times are hard everywhere. But when you plant your crops, raise your cattle, take on the risks of farming, wasn't that a personal business decision? So why is it on me and you to make sure that that decision keeps paying out? Because see, when you and I make bad decisions, government doesn't cut us a check to make it right for us. Now, let's connect the dots here a little bit. These are the same people voting for the same politicians who say government is the problem. Yet as soon as the tractors stop running and their profits dry up, government magically turns into a solution for them. Ain't that funny and ironic? The question is, do we owe farmers any help? Or do they need to practice what they preach? Figure it out. Tighten that belt. Leave taxpayers out of it. Because last I checked, it's really not our problem to fix somebody else's gamble.
So let me get this straight. The farmers of Arkansas are asking the federal government for handouts, for checks, because they are struggling financially because of the tariffs and other policies of Donald Trump. They can't sell their soybeans and other goods into foreign countries like China because of the tariffs. They're now too expensive for them to be able to sell them into China because of the retaliatory tariffs. And they can't afford equipment. They can't afford the high rising prices of equipment because of other tariffs on goods and manufacturing and raw material and everything like that. And they are saying they have never seen it this bad. There was a farmer who's in his 39th season of farming, and he says he has never seen it this bad. He literally said, Donald Trump, you said you love us, but I'm not seeing the fruits of your love. What the fuck? Arkansas farmers, and they're saying, of course, it's affecting everywhere else. We saw Nebraska was having problems, facing bankruptcy. Farmers across this country are facing a huge pinch, and a lot of it has to do with Donald Trump and his policies. Well, you should have thought about that, farmers for Trump, when you went into the voting booth, and places like Arkansas, Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska went ruby ass red in 2024 in November. You guys made your bed, you fucked around, and now you're finding out. So yeah, the fruits of Donald Trump's love are rotten pieces of shit. If you didn't know that going in, you know it now. So as your farm continues to struggle and you're looking for a socialist handout, why don't you try pulling yourself up by your bootstraps that you preach to everybody else about and do something about it? Because frankly, the rest of the country doesn't give a damn anymore. You should have thought about that before you sold the rest of us down the river.
I tell you guys that I can't even keep up with all the fuck around and find outs going on in this country. Believe me, I cannot keep up. I had to learn about this from a commenter on one of my earlier videos because there's so much of this shit going on. Listen to this. 64% of Arkansas voters voted for Donald Trump in 2024. 77% of Arkansas farmers supported Donald Trump in 2024. And guess what's happening right now? Arkansas farmers are struggling because of Donald Trump's tariffs. And they don't want to raise themselves up by the bootstraps to take care of these issues. No. You know what they want? They want government handouts. They want welfare. The people who support the party who is against government handouts, who's against welfare, who wants you to raise yourselves up by the bootstraps when you have any type of problem, those people are saying, we want welfare. Where's our welfare? If we don't get welfare, many of us are going to have to apply for bankruptcy. All types of issues going on in Arkansas with their farmers because of the guy they supported. They're getting exactly what they voted for, and they want us to give a damn. I don't. What inflation? Donald Trump told me he solved inflation. He said inflation was bad under Joe Biden, but he solved inflation. So what are they talking about? And tariffs? What tariffs? Not the tariffs that brought in $8 trillion of revenue. Can't be talking about those tariffs. I know those tariffs aren't causing problems for farmers because Donald Trump told us tariffs were going to make us all rich. So what the fuck are they talking about?
This time last year, the rice price was about 40% higher than it is now. The inputs costs have gone up. So after a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
Though President Trump's big beautiful bill provided a much needed update to safety net subsidies for farmers, they won't see those federal dollars until late next year, by which time some have projected that as many as 1/4 or even 1/3 of Arkansas farmers will face bankruptcy or be forced to leave the business amid the crisis the American ag economy is currently in. It's already taken its toll this year.
I'm a sixth-generation farmer from Newport, and we made a decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the seventh generation on our farm.
So her family are 6 generations of farmers, and she's saying that her sons will not be a 7th generation of farmers, all because of Donald Trump's policies. And here's the thing, there are already subsidies in place that these people are supposed to get in December of 2026, but that's not soon enough for them. They need their welfare right now.
So it looks like Arkansas farmers are in the find out phase of the fuck around and find out part.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
Because farmers from all over the state of Arkansas came together to have a town hall meeting with some representatives from the government, explaining their struggles and what they might need to help them. And just as a friendly reminder, during the 2024 election, the state of Arkansas went 64.2% towards President Orange Man. But let's continue with the rest of this clip because it seems like one farmer might be having a realization as to what may be causing all of these issues.
For Brown, there's something that rounds out all the issues that they are facing: the tariffs.
I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm. When you try to sell a product, okay, U.S. soybeans leaving New Orleans without the tariff to China are cheaper than Brazilian soybeans at the current market. But when you put the tariff on top of them, Brazilian beans are cheaper.
Now, I'm actually glad he's making the correlation that it has something to do with the tariffs. But I've noticed a pattern when it comes to some of these people, when it comes to the tariffs, that they never make the connection or blame towards the person that actually caused these tariffs. And I'm going to give him a major hint that it has to do with the person that won 64.2% of the vote in that state during the 2024 election. And this Arkansas farmer seems like he has a solution for this problem.
So, how can this be fixed?
In the short term, they have no choice but to mail us a check. I don't know a farmer that likes the check program. Nobody wants to take taxpayer dollars, but nobody wants to go broke.
Yep, you heard that right. He's asking for a government handout, which is socialism, which he says he doesn't like them, but during these past years, there have been lots of subsidies and checks going out for farmers, including bailouts that happened during President Orange Man's first term. Because during his first term, financial aid to farmers was about $28 billion, costing more than Navy shipbuilding, the nuclear forces, NASA, and even children's health insurance. So yeah, you guys do love to receive bailouts and handouts. All the while, you guys tell other people who need financial aid, such as single mothers with kids who need food stamps, that they should pull themselves up by the bootstraps, but for some reason you guys don't like doing it yourselves. And this is just another episode in the saga of Fuck Around and Find Out. I don't even know what episode number we're on, but yeah.
Farmers from across Arkansas are coming out and stating that they are not happy because they are...
Nothing that's happening to Arkansas farmers would ever make me feel bad for them. Nothing. I have 2 reasons. Number 1, you guys voted for this. First, you voted in Agent Pumpkinhead, your governor, who's done nothing for the state, especially after you've had multiple tornadoes ravage your state, like from top to bottom. And she couldn't even get the funding that was needed to help your state out. There are places that have been ravaged by tornado. I left last year, so this happened in 2023, that are still looking the same exact way from when that tornado happened 2 years ago. You then voted in Agent Orange because you guys are racist, sexist, and bigots. You deserve everything that's happening to you and more. Bonus points. All that rice You know that toxic rice y'all been offloading onto Haitians for years now. Since the Clinton administration, you guys don't have the ability to continue to do that. So the circle of thievery is essentially ending. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad not one bit. You asked for this, you voted for this, you need to make your bed and lie in it. Imagine voting for greatness and it's at your detriment. Cold world.
The farmers in Arkansas are now lining up to ask for a handout. They hate big government. They're the first ones to tell other people to stop complaining and pick yourself up by the bootstraps. They're the first ones to hate on socialism and big government. And they're the first ones to be asking for a handout and asking to be subsidized. Yeah, how about no? How about you lead by example, guys? Pull your ass up by the bootstraps. Have fun.
Arkansas farmers, it is officially your time to come take this medicine. A year ago in 2024, not unlike Kerrville, Texas, you were offered bailouts, you were offered assistance from the government in order to subsidize your farms by the Biden administration. And a lot of you voted against it. You did not want to get behind anything that had to do with the Democrats. You let the culture war invade your logic, and you let it get in the way of saving your farms. Now your hero, your messiah, has been voted into office and immediately started gutting any earning potential that you had on your farms. Between the immigration policy that is snatching up workers off of these farms with no remorse, to the tariffs that we pay for that are killing any profits that you could have made this year. Now you are all sitting here saying that you need government assistance. Go figure. And some of you are saying if you don't get it, your farms will shut down. Let me ask you this question. Why is it different with this president? Why is it more acceptable to ask for this assistance from this president? Also, what makes you think he's going to give it to you? Your own governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, has been pleading for help from this man. She worked in his administration the first time, and he didn't give anything to her. Plus, his vice president has financial stake in an app that profits off of bankrupting private farms in America. I'm sorry, guys, there's no way around this conversation. Voting has consequences, and those consequences are going to be the loss of your farms.
Hey there, y'all. First Nebraska, now cue up Arkansas. Arkansas farmers are bigly up in their fields right now. They're gonna lose their farms. Oh, golly. I would have some empathy, but you know, I've been told for so many years that not to have empathy. I don't have empathy. If only there's something they could have done, you know, back in November 2024, so they wouldn't be losing their farms in 2025. Oh, yeah. Oh, and John Deere, did y'all hear about John Deere? They are, like, getting rid of a lot of their employees, like tons of employees, because no one's buying their products anymore, plus tariffs. Now the farmers in Arkansas, you know, as they grow soybean and whatnot, they used to export so many crops from Arkansas to other countries. So now other countries are being like, oh, no. Yeah, you made your choice when you voted for the felon, so don't expect us to buy any of your soybeans or wheat or corn, whatever. And by the way, how's that orange picking going? Florida? How's your construction industry going, Florida? Texas, how about your crops? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Texas or Florida, they were going to be up next in the, you know, got to sell the farms, got to sell the orchards, nobody to work them, and no one will buy our produce anymore. because of tariffs. And other countries are telling us, fuck you. Fuck you and your farmers. Fuck you and your farmers. Because, see, these Arkansas farmers, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, where all the farms are, you know, they don't have anybody to work the farms and nobody to buy their stuff. And the majority of our, like, exports go to the country. Now it's Arkansas's turn. Yeah, step up. Come on up here, Arkansas, because I know you farmers in Arkansas are really shitting your pants right now. Like I said, if only there was something that could have been done back in November. But nevertheless, Arkansas farmers, you made your choice. You voted for the felon, and you already knew what he was going to do because we tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. He tried to tell you, Project 2025 tried to tell you, but nevertheless, you thought he'd be good for your, your farm business, with your socialism, government, subsidies and whatnot. Yeah. That's not coming for you, baby. Just like FEMA's not coming. Just like people are getting kicked off their Medicaid right now and their EBT and all sorts of things because of the way you voted. I mean, I doubly don't have sympathy for you, Arkansas, because you also voted in Sarah Huckabee Sanders because you saw her on the platform kissing old orange man's bloviated or bulbous butt. And then you knew their last name was Huckabee Sanders, and y'all loved Mike Huckabee because repugnant as he was, he was a Republican, and anybody with an R behind their name we're going to vote for, right? I get it, Arkansas, I get it, because same here in Oklahoma. Not me, I'm Blue Dot. But then you voted in Huckabee, and the Huckabee signed a bill into law saying that since we're getting rid of all those immigrants, we can't have the immigrants because the Lord Trader Daddy, Orange Daddy says we can't. And they're taking them out of the country anyway. So you guys, your governor signed a bill into law for child labor. So those kids can go work in the chicken houses and the meat packing plants and on your farms. Take them out of school and put them out to work there in the fields. Yeah. So if you're having a problem bringing in your crops, Arkansas, call your governor. Call your governor. And then if you have no place to sell your crops to, your soybeans, your corn, your wheat, again, soon time. It's not going to be long before it's going to be time for winter wheat. So, won't have anybody buy them then. So many farmers with their generational farms are going to go bankrupt. Yeah. And now these Arkansas farmers, they're asking for a government check. I thought they voted against socialism. I thought that was the reason why they voted for the felon, because they didn't believe in government handouts while taking government handouts. They thought, oh, he's just going to get those brown peoples and those black peoples and those women, the women. He won't touch us because we wear the red hats and we fly the flags on our tractors. We got the signs on our property, on our fence. We've been very loyal to you, Lord Trader. Why are you turning on us? Honey, he's only ever been loyal to himself and mammon. Filthy lucre. Money and himself. That's all he really cares about, y'all. Literally. You thought he was going to care about you. All he wanted was your vote. And all he wants to do is grift off of you. You're going to lose your farm. Your generationally held farm. And then the big companies are going to come in and swoop it up for pennies on the dollar. Who's going to be up next on the FAFO season? Let's see. What state will it be next? Could be Kansas. Oh. Isn't Wyoming having some problems too? Financial problems? I believe they are. You should have listened, farmers. You should have listened, Arkansas farmers. Yeah. And if all you can do is farm, what are you going to do when you lose your farm? And I assume some of you have like trad wives that stay home, take care of the spawn, and homeschool them and help you on the farm. Listen, I've seen old episodes of Wife Swap. I know that those farmers' wives that get up 4 o'clock in the morning and go out and milk some cows and, split wood and cook all the meals and clean the house, be the good little subservient wife working alongside the head of her household. And my wonderful husband, Jim Bob. Anyway, zero sympathy for y'all. Zero. I had sympathy and I had empathy for you when I went out and voted for you. Too bad you didn't care about your own selves. It's all about owning the libs, wasn't it? It was all about getting rid of the brown folks. Because here's the deal, y'all. Racism is very, very expensive. Voting for Republicans is very, very expensive. But don't worry. Bezos, Elon Musk, and Peter Thiel and your felon, they don't have to pay any taxes. How nice for them. Also, just so you know, I don't want my tax dollars going to bail you out because I'm a lib. I'm one of those liberals that you guys are always trying to own. And I actually voted for you, but you didn't vote for yourselves. So, like I said, my empathy ended November 6th because you didn't care enough about yourself or your farms to vote for yourself. Anyway, peace, love to everybody. It's not MAGA. And sorry, some experiences, some consequences are going to be very, very expensive.
Hundreds, and I do mean hundreds, of farmers in northeast Arkansas met Tuesday with federal officials to talk about their current financial challenges and fears they could be forced to walk away from farming. There have been a group have been sounding the alarm for weeks about the financial situation facing producers. There have been farmers across the state asking for help, and before it's too late, so many farmers spoke out at the meeting. Their message was just straightforward: we need help, and we need it now. One man made this statement, and the statement is, Mr. Trump, you looked at me and said, I love you. Woodruff County farmer Chris King said, Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruit of your love. They said that you are going to lose 25 to 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something, is what a man by the name of Scott Brown, a farmer from Biggers, Arkansas. It has to be done, and it's not just here, it's everywhere. There is something called consequences. That's what it's called. It's called consequences. The line to get into the place, the Wood Chapel Baptist Church, went out the door. This is where the meeting was held. Countless farmers from across the state came to voice their concerns about the current state of farming. So, one man said, this is Chris King, the main problem is that they can't sell for profit. I just would like to see somebody's help us out in our market. This is what Chris King said. We need our exports, and we just need to be paid for what we do, and that's not happening. And we're in real trouble, is what this man had to say. But this is not the only issue. Chris King's wife, Melissa King, and farmer Scott Brown said they are struggling to afford the bare minimum costs to maintain their farms. Prices that we are getting now are prices like they were when we were children. And what it costs for us to farm is astronomically now have increased, I should say. The price of a combine when we were kids was in the 20,000s and now is hundreds of thousands, is what Melissa King had to say. So, I know that a lot of support went to the Trump administration from farmers. And now the farmers are begging the same administration for help. I don't know if it's true, but I am also hearing that some of the veterans may get their benefit cuts. Pete Hegseth said before, and I keep hearing this, and I hope it's not, because I have veterans in my family that say that he wants to cut that check from veterans getting it. If they get Social Security, and it's also a veterans check that they want that cut. Look, I'm going to say this here. I'm going to say this. I think veterans, when they put their lives on the line, they should get whatever the heck they want to get. Now, that's just my take. I've never been to the military. But have I had family in the military? Yes. My dad included. Whatever they need, I think they should get. I think also you have to be careful what you ask for. And you have to see things and view things not with rose-colored glasses. There is a crisis in Arkansas, and it seems to be spreading. But there's such a thing as consequences of your action. And unfortunately, the farmers are at that stage of consequences.